It's kind of weird because there were only like I was literally such a crazy kid. I had so much energy, and the only two things I would ever do sitting down were piano and drawing. Like that was it.
Okay.
And maybe like sitting down to eat food. That's it.
Well, cool. I'm Adam, by the way, and this is all about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about Ghost Town.
Awesome. Great to meet you, Adam.
Nice to meet you as well. First off, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Monroe, Washington.
Monroe, Washington. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I grew up. It's about 45 minutes northeast of Seattle, and
Okay.
I grew up with four sisters. And Monroe is a very, I grew up a very outdoors kid. I was always looking to be active, and so me and my best friend Eric, we would always be up to something like mountain biking, rock climbing, cliff jumping, playing football, soccer, hiking, backpacking. Like we loved just like doing crazy stuff.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that was kind of my life growing up. And that's also why like I didn't do music, is because I was always just playing sports or doing something dumb.
Sure. Scootering. Is that you in the pictures on Instagram?
Yeah.
Wow, man, you're good.
Thank you. We got into scootering when we were like probably like 8 or 9, because we saw our neighbors doing it. And yeah, it's just like a little side hobby that we did.
Yeah, dude, you're super good. Like I grew up skateboarding, and I remember when the first Razor scooters were coming out, and seeing kids like jump and flip the bottom of it, like just blew my mind.
Yeah, the good old tail whip.
Yeah, now people can do flips with it, and that's insane how far that sport has came.
Yeah.
Are you still scootering at all?
Yeah, I actually being here in Vegas, like while I was just getting settled, I had a little bit of free time, and so I just went to a scooter shop and picked up a scooter, and yeah, started getting back into it.
That's rad. That's rad. You said you have 4 siblings.
Yeah, 4 sisters.
Anyone else musical in your family?
Okay, so this is like the only musical thing that happened growing up, but like all my sisters took piano lessons.
Okay.
And when they would come home, I like my mom wanted me to do piano lessons. I hated them. I went once and I was like, no way, Mom. But my sisters would do them, and my 2 older ones are actually really good. But when they would practice their songs, like when they were done, I could just go and play by ear.
Wow.
So I've never really learned. I still don't know like the notes on the piano or chords, but I just play based on what I hear.
Wow. So you're one of those very gifted people that can just hear something and then mimic it back.
Well, like other people are probably way better. I'm like, I'm not like insanely good. I mess around.
I differ, but I've seen your videos online. You're pretty good. So, but that's awesome. So you didn't really take lessons. You just picked it up all by ear.
Yeah.
Wow. And were you ever like interested in that, or not so much, mainly outside?
So it's kind of weird because there were only like I was literally such a crazy kid. I had so much energy, and the only two things I would ever do sitting down were piano and drawing. Like that was it.
Okay.
And maybe like sitting down to eat food. That's it. And so I don't know, like it was kind of calming in a weird way to play the piano. And I think about it every day. Like, why did I not try and sing? Like, I don't even know. So yeah, it was like piano and drawing were like, if I ever needed a break from anything, that was like my go-to.
Okay. Were you ever writing on piano, or was it just trying to learn other songs, or?
I would kind of just play what my sisters played.
Oh, okay.
My oldest sister got like really, really good, and she was playing just some very more advanced songs. And so I'd always try and play what she played. But, you know, like every once in a while, I would just go on there and just like play something that wasn't a song. But that's about it.
Okay. You play all the instruments on the recording, right? For the new song, or most of them?
Yeah. The
Okay.
guitar and piano.
So you picked up guitar also in the midst of all this. When did you start learning guitar?
I started learning guitar the day we recorded Ghost Town.
Really?
Yeah. I've picked up a guitar before. Like everyone's picked up a guitar.
Right.
I've just never like spent more than 2 minutes like just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And so Eric, actually, my best friend growing up, I talk about him so much because he's just like I got into music because of him. But
Okay.
he plays guitar. He's super good. And so like when I started getting into music like 2 years ago, I would play the piano and he'd play the guitar. So it was like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when we recorded Ghost Town, I was like, I think it'd be sick if I played all the instruments in the song. And JT, the producer, was like, well, let's teach you some guitar. So yeah, it was fun.
So you picked it up. Wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. You said your best friend Eric is the one that got you in the music. How did he get you into music?
So Eric, I'll give you like the rundown on Eric. I met Eric when I was 6 months old, and I have 4 sisters. Like I said, he has 5 sisters. So we're both like surrounded by girls, and he's
Okay.
like my day one. And so he's always like, he was never pursuing anything musical, but he just loves music.
Uh-huh.
And he grew up loving music. And so when we got to senior year of high school, he wanted to do Battle of the Bands. And yeah, he got this band together and he wanted me to be in it and just play the piano. And I was excited. And then our singer backed out last minute, and Eric was like, well, guess you're singing, Benson. And I was like, you're crazy. But it like, I really don't know why he said it. And like, cause I had never sung before, but I just gave it a go, and
Good thing he told you.
it seemed to just like, it was so weird. It's like finding something that you feel like has always been there.
Mhm.
Like when I started singing, like literally in that performance, like my parents were in the front row, my whole school was there. No one knew I sang. My parents didn't even know. I didn't even know. And so like when I started singing, it was like, where has this been my whole life?
Mhm.
You know, one of those things.
What courage, though. I always find that funny where people's first performances are like at a talent show in front of their whole school. I'd imagine that'd be like the most
Oh,
nerve-wracking thing ever. Because
dude.
now you got to go to school with the kids every day, like your direct peers. If you were playing to like an open mic night, maybe probably wouldn't run into maybe any of those people ever again, but you're right in front of the whole entire school.
Yeah, and it's the scariest thing. I would rather sing in front of 1,000 people I don't know than 5 people that are my close friends. Just
Sure.
because when you sing in front of people that are your close friends, I don't know what it is. Like, you know them personally, and it's worse if you mess up.
Just
And so
vulnerable, right?
in front of the school, dude, I was peeing my pants, man. I was scared. But like I don't know what it was. Like the second I started singing, I like just calmed down and it felt so good. But
You must have practiced quite a bit before that, so you knew that you could hit a note, I would imagine.
we 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 had 3 practices before,
Okay.
and it was the 3 days before, and we were so
Procrastinated quite a bit.
yeah, yeah. So I knew I could like kind of hit them, but like
Uh-huh.
in the performance it really clicked.
Okay.
So yeah, I was nervous going into it. I was like, well, I don't sound great, but I'm not awful.
Okay.
So but yeah, the performance just, I don't even know, just
Did you
changed
do a
that.
cover song?
Yeah, we did the good parts. Okay, this was the scariest part. The first
Okay.
song, like it was so we weren't even a band. It was like me and Eric and this kid Caleb, and we were just like standing there. This Caleb was on this like padding drum seat thing that you sit on and you just like pat it, and it's like
like a
drum.
cajon type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There with the guitar, and I'm on the piano. Our first song was a ballad on the piano. Like no one did anything, so it was just me singing.
Just you on piano.
Yeah. And that's what the scariest part was. So the
They
first
really
song,
hung you out there, huh? Okay. And the first one we're gonna do is a piano ballad that's all you. So we're just gonna stand here while you do this.
pretty much, and it was the good parts by Andy Grammer, and then we
Okay.
did. I was trying to remember. It was like we did Havana, we did Royals, and and then Shallow by Lady Gaga.
Okay. Some solid choices.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool.
man, oh man, that was quite the experience.
Well, from there, obviously you found out that you can sing quite well. And then how quickly does this like a whole American Idol thing? I don't want to stay on that very long at all, but I'm just curious, like, how did you audition for that? Or was that pretty soon after? It was like, oh, hey, I can sing. Like, what should I do with this? I should go try out for that show, or like, what was next?
Well, yeah, that performance was senior year, and I ended up going to college at BYU, and I was studying architecture and interior design, but like kind of for fun, I had started posting videos just that summer, singing videos, and I still didn't like think of it as a career or anything. Like it wasn't like that for me. And so during college, I would just make videos sometimes. But I was really, I'm going to college, having fun, doing classes. Right. And they actually, they DM'd me and they were like, hey, you should audition for the show. And it was like kind of at that moment, it clicked that like, maybe I could do something with it. And so, I auditioned and luckily made it on, and then that whole show happened, and it was a great experience, but I just wasn't ready for that because I didn't quite know who I wanted to be as an artist. And so I quit, and yeah, that's where Dan Reynolds in Vegas kicks in.
Okay. With when they reached out to you, were you getting some traction on your videos online? I mean, you have a huge following, obviously, online. But did you see your videos getting more and more views, and obviously probably validated the fact that you were doing what you should be doing? And then American Idol reaches out to you, or like, how did they must have found you?
Yeah,
somehow on there.
Yeah, it was like. I'm like trying to find like a good way to say this. American Idol like didn't like blow me up,
right?
But
right.
I
you already had people following you on there.
Yeah, and
right.
So I had been posting singing videos for probably like 4 months, and it was when I had like probably a 1.2 or 1.3 million followers just for those singing videos.
That's huge.
And that's when they DM'd me.
Wow, that's awesome. And just off a few months of putting your videos up, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was. I was very blown away to see like how fast it was growing.
Sure. Was there a particular song or video that really started to catch fire?
Yeah. So the thing was, I wasn't like putting out any of my own music because I didn't even think to write my own music. And so like I did like this cover of Driver's License and then Arcade. Those are like the two songs, Driver's License and Arcade. I posted a couple of videos to both of them. And yeah, one of them got for a Driver's License, one of them got like 10 million views, and then one of them got 11 million views. And so it was really crazy.
I can't even imagine seeing that. Like at that point, you just have to like turn the phone off or just turn off the notifications, right?
Yeah, but it's also like for me, I really don't think unless you're like at the top of TikTok, you're not famous. Like a lot of people will get like a couple 100,000 followers on TikTok and be like think it's famous. And for me, like I did not think that. It's more just like an opportunity to like show people
Yeah,
a
it's a
little.
platform that,
Yeah,
yeah, you can, yeah, exactly. And I love the way that you came about, like when you left American Idol, and then people are like, you know, what's the story about? You basically, you were so short and perfect with your answer that you didn't know who you were going to be as an artist. And
yeah.
look at, and I mean, you put out this song Ghost Town and it's already going crazy. I mean, you're like top, you know, like you're charting across the whole world.
It is. It has been crazy, but it's. I am very lucky to like have the team that I do in Vegas
Mm-hmm.
and just seeing Ghost Town and promoting it and seeing it do well is so cool. That's like, I mean, that's an artist's dream. So
Sure.
or more.
That's amazing. So you get, so Dan Reynolds reaches out to you, and you, that must have been mind blowing, I would imagine.
Yeah. So I was asked to come write with them for 3 days. And it was like literally like a day after the show. Like I quit. I went home. I was home for like 2 days. And then I flew out to Vegas to go write with Dan. And it's crazy because writing with Dan, those were my first 3 days, even writing music, period. And so
Wow.
it was one, like extremely intimidating the first day to meet him. Cause I mean, he's Dan.
He's in one of the biggest bands on the planet.
Yeah, he's done it all. And he is just the most refreshing thing is he is such a good guy. And he just cares so much about me and how I'm doing, even though like Dan's up here and he's taking time for someone who's just way down there. But it was such a cool learning experience and writing. And he said he really, really liked me. And so I flew home, got my suitcase, put some clothes in it, and moved to Vegas within the next day. And I like had no plan, no money, just moved to Vegas. And that's where so I found my manager Jeff like right before that.
Mhm.
And Jeff is in with all them, so he lives here in Vegas. So I was sleeping on his beanbag for 2 months.
For two
Um,
months?
2 months.
Oh
Yeah.
my. How's your neck?
It you know, it's been better. But
Okay.
yeah, we went to LA to do like an official writing session.
Uh-huh.
And the first one is when I wrote Ghost Town. So
Wow.
like the first official writing session that I ever did.
Was it with, and how did that song come to you? I know there's a story behind it.
Yeah, so I was in the Uber, just chilling in the Uber on the way to the session, and the melody just popped in my head, and so I just like took my phone out, voice memoed it, and yeah, but the inspiration. So like I guess I wrote the melody of the chorus in the Uber, but when I got to the session, and when we were kind of breaking down what I wanted to write about, um, you would hear Ghost Town and think it's about a girl, and like partially like my friend was in a toxic relationship, and I drew some lyrics from that, but
Mhm.
mostly, I had just moved away from my friends and family. I was doing something I didn't even know I could do for very long. And it's like, it was just a crazy time for me. And so Ghost Town is more about developing my emotional maturity than anything else. It's like, you know, I got to let go of my childhood now. And so it's like, maybe you'd be happier with someone else, just kind of realizing it's time to be on to bigger things.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful song, and it's a piano ballad, which is rad because that comes back full circle to your first performance in front of your high school.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man. Okay, so you you get this writing session. Tell me about showing up. Did you have any idea what you were getting yourself into when you were going to this session in LA? Or well, you had, I guess you had worked with Dan a bit in Vegas, right? Prior to that.
Yeah. So it was after those 3 days of working with Dan. And so um Dan, like, I mean, writing with Dan is definitely different than anyone else. And
Mhm.
so I still didn't really know like what to expect for like an actual session. Uh, and so it was just me, a producer, and then a writer. And it just like, it went really well. We
Mhm.
got in there and just kind of got to know each other. And then I played them that little thing, the melody that I wrote. And then we just started brainstorming ideas for like inspiration for it. And then, yeah. And then we just started writing, and it was super cool. I
Mhm.
mean, they're definitely easy to overthink. Like, I definitely overthought it, but I mean, everyone writes differently. And so, yeah, and not every song is wrote in an Uber, but
Mhm.
yeah,
But this happened to be, and it's doing awesome.
yeah.
Well, it's an incredible song, man, and congratulations on all the success. I mean, wow, it already almost has 7 million plays on Spotify. That's so crazy.
We are very excited on how fast it's moving.
That is so amazing. And did you get any other songs written and put down during those
Oh,
sessions?
yeah, yeah. I have been building up, just kind of building up how many songs I have. But I mean, I'm still like, I've only been writing for like 6 months.
Hmm.
Mm. So, I mean, I don't have a ton of songs, but yeah, definitely a lot of options right now.
That's awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to hear what you have next because this song is awesome, and I appreciate you taking time to talk with me today.
Of course, I appreciate you. This has been great.
Thank you, Vincent. I have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Um, my advice would be just never be afraid to be your own artist. I feel like there's a lot of like stereotypical things to do as an artist, and you have to write a song on a certain instrument, or you have to write a ballad, or you have to make a sad song, or you have to make a song that's good for TikTok. But really, like, music is an opportunity to let people understand a little part of you, and that's always the goal. I mean, if you really want to do music as a career, like, you might as well love it while you do it. So just make everything personal to you and work hard, and that's how the most successful artists come out.